This is kvci.blogspot.com, George Valdosta-Lowndes, again in Valdosta City Hall. I am on the first floor of Valdosta City Hall. And over 2 years ago, I talked about not having black African American pictures displayed here in City Hall. I believe that we are now our metro city, and that Valdosta should represent all of the people in terms of the historical makeup of our beloved city. Not only in Valdosta, but in other cities across America, especially the rural areas. I repeat, the rural areas should be diverse. It should be inclusive for all people. All buildings and historical monuments, at least a few should be represented to show that we all contributed in all the wars, including the Revolutionary War of this great republic. I brought it before the mayor, John Freddy, and our county commission and our city council members, including the black ones, that there are no pictures of the buildings or people of black African American descent, for the most part, displayed in this building, or especially down this hallway. It is my belief that it would be so easy to include the people who lived at that era. And when our children come into this public building from the various schools and university and Georgia Military College and Wiregrass Technical College, when they come into this building, they should be able to see what they and their ancestors did to ensure that this community took a stand and was fair and equal to all people. And if the history is such that it did not include people, at least show the truth of the time period in which these pictures are a reflection of. Since I addressed the Valdosta City Mayor and Council, to my knowledge, nothing has been done, but I was promised, and it should be in the Valdosta City Council minutes, that something was going to be done. I, George Valdosta-Lowndes, volunteered to go into the black community to find pictures of some buildings that's in the black community to be posted in this hallway. Of course, that has been ignored. But we have not forgotten that, and we will forever stay on the case that something is displayed in this wall to show that we traveled along this route on our way to inclusion here in the city of Valdosta, Georgia. This is kvci.blogspot.com or on YouTube, Boston G.B.R. No, better yet, let's take a walk down the hallway so you can get a better feel and understanding of what I'm talking about. We have done this before, and so I will be brief. You can pick this up on my blog, kvci.blogspot.com. That was in 1912, 1907, and the courthouse buildings here in the city. Coming on down the wall, the Crescent building and here in the city, the Cotton Exchange, and it was downtown. And of course, a locomotive back in 1860. We also come down for the first home of Wildcats in 1905. I'm sure that there was black schools somewhere in the city. All it would have to do is just put some type of picture that's reflective of that time period. Now, we understand that we may have some blacks there standing on the sidewalk, but the question is, when our children of black African American descent and Spanish Americans, Latinos come, they too, I'm sure, would want to be represented on these walls of this public building. For it is only the right thing to do. We also see here Valdosta State College. We see the crescent again. But the question remains, where are the black builders from the black African American community here in Valdosta? The city that we all contributed to and helped to build. I think that it should be a part of the history of Valdosta and Lowndes County. There is a time now when our children should feel good about themselves and not consider themselves as inferior or 3/5 of a human being. As we all know, history has allotted for certain segments of people in our beloved nation. Here again, it is what it is, but I will always be for inclusion. And if this hallway were in a black town and excluded whites, I would do the same thing. I would want white pictures displayed. Why? Because of the fact we all are part of this great city, county, nation, and world. Once again, we do what we do because we want to keep you informed. This also means that if you're in your local city, you may need to walk in your city and do a report and make sure that everybody that make up your beloved city has been accounted for, has been recognized for their accomplishments, so no child or children or adults or those who come after us will think or believe that nothing was contributed to the well-being of their community simply because they were excluded from the history of our world. This is kvci.blogspot.com. George Boston Ram doing what we do because this is what we do. Once again, today is December the 30th, 2011. And of course, once again, this is a picture of our historic first black mayor, Sonny Vickers. And we can only ask. He was selected, not elected. But I believe it's time for us to elect a black mayor after 150 some odd years. Not because they are black, but because they are qualified to run this city. If a black person can run the city of Atlanta and other major cities across the United States of America, then why not Valdosta in a city that is approximately 59% black African American? It is indeed time for us to make a great change here in the city of Valdosta and Lowndes County and the state of Georgia in general. Once again, George Boston Rams, kvci.blogspot.com, doing what we do here in Valdosta, Georgia, the city that I retired in. And if you have retired in a rural area, you too may need to do what I'm doing to keep the record and the bread fresh and carry on the dream of Dr. King and others who travel that great land of Holy Divine. Bye-bye. We go.